too. She was the one that moved around the most. She was the hardest one to do. So it's just a little bit shorter than the other ones, but pretty much turned out the way same as Mom's.
Okay, okay. It's all over your tongue, Harley.
Speaking of that, her front lip here, I don't know if it's because she's been licking them so much, but it, you know, it used to be black and now it's pink.
It's what are you talking about?
Right there in the middle.
Right
It's all.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
red last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, she has roughed it up a little bit, but it's nothing serious, you guys. It's probably from grooming her puppies, okay? And all the licking she had to do when they were first born and get the afterbirth and everything, okay?
With her last born, the white one, she bit off the umbilical cord before she got her placenta off.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's a good girl. Okay, we're looking all right in there, guys.
Pretty good.
She can get down. She goes, you're supposed to tell me to put my feet in the stirrups first.
Yeah. Sorry, Susie.
Okay, sweetheart, you're all. Okay, guys. You know your pups should get wormed at 2 weeks old. Have you been through this before?
No.
Okay.
We're just reading online. That's
Okay. What I want you to do, if you haven't got Mom eating the puppy food that you're going to wean them on, get her doing that. She needs the extra calories and the fat, otherwise they'll nurse her down to skin and bones. Okay. She hasn't got a great big litter, and so she shouldn't lose too much condition with only 3 puppies. But you still got to get her on puppy food. So pick whatever you're going to use to wean them on at 4 weeks, you know, and just go ahead and let her start eating it. Okay, if she's not. Get plenty of water. I want you to watch her vulva for any discharge that's smelly, okay? She's allowed to have a little discharge for a week, even up to 2 weeks. But it shouldn't be pussy and it shouldn't smell, okay? If any of you feel like that's going on, let us know immediately, because we need to do an x-ray and make sure everything's okay, okay? Her mammary glands are great. She's got plenty of milk, and they can get mastitis, especially when they've got a lot of milk and they don't have many puppies. And so some glands don't get nursed as much as the others, and she can get a mastitis. If that happens, it's going to get really hard. The boob is going to get really hard and hot. Okay, because and she'll need to be on some antibiotics. So as long as so you kind of see what her mammary glands are like right now, you know, and feel them and whatever, so that you'll know when if one becomes abnormal, what they were supposed to feel like. Okay.
Right.
She seems to be getting hot easier, panting a lot. Yeah. She feels warmer to me.
Yeah. Now that's all. That's
Is it
normal.
just normal?
All that's normal. Okay. Now for this first week, the best thing to do is leave her alone and let her take care of them, okay? The highest mortality rate in puppies is in the first 7 days. You get them past the first 7 days, most of them survive, okay? And so, so just let her do her thing, and you know, make sure her box is clean and all that good stuff, you know. But other than that, just let her take care of them. Don't handle them too much right now, okay? And then when they get past that first week, she will start to wean them at about 4 weeks old. Maybe somewhere even between 3 and 4 weeks, because these guys are going to get really big because they're not in competition for food, you know. So they're going to grow really fast and get pretty big and roly-poly. And as soon as she's most bitches will take really good care of their puppies for 2 weeks. And I mean, I don't mean she'll stop taking care of them at 2 weeks. I just mean she won't want to leave them. You'll have to force her to go outside the bathroom and come back in to leave them. Yes, that'll happen for the first 2 weeks. And then she'll be more willing to leave them for longer periods of time. Then when 4 weeks come, she just won't be with them at all. Because it starts to hurt when they're nursing on her. Okay, the baby teeth are starting to come in. And so she'll want, and their little nails are really sharp when they need her and everything, you know. And so so expect her to give them 100% of her attention for the first 2 weeks, and then you'll see it slack off a little bit. She'll be willing to stay outside a little longer and easier to get her away from them, you know. And then at 4 weeks, she's going to want to start weaning them. So you start putting down a little bit of soft puppy food, you know, wet, moist puppy food, like soggy cereal kind of thing. And because if you don't put some out for them, she'll throw hers up so they can eat it. Okay, when she's ready to wean them, she's going to wean them. And if you don't put down solid food for them, she'll throw hers up for them. Okay? I mean, that's just what she'll do.
Right, right.
Okay? And other than that, if you get along here and you're having problems or questions, just call us.
Well, I have one question. The little white one seems to whine all the time. Is that just normal?
Everybody feels healthy, meaning nobody feels like they're not getting enough to eat, and they're not nobody feels to me like they're doing poorly. That reminds me, boy, these guys wanted time to write it down. In case somebody's having trouble, you need to know what they started out at. So right now I can't really, we're at 3 days, and everybody seems to be healthy, so I wouldn't worry about it unless you start finding her by herself, okay? Because if there's something wrong with her, Mom will push her away,
right.
Okay? And so if you start finding her by herself, then you can start.
She seems to be Mom's favorite.
Really? Okay.
Mom will go get her over the
Oh,
rest
is that right?
of them.
That's not a bad thing. So she's a female, yeah?
Yeah.
The white one is a female?
Yeah.
Oh, poor little butt.
Yeah, I had to put most of the sutures in hers. Hers got a little bit short. She moved at just the wrong time.
And she can just lick and lick and lick, and it's perfectly fine.
They can't hurt a thing. Okay, so the white female weighed
1 pound 6 ounces.
1 pound 6 ounces.
Down.
Okay, what else you got?
Male.
Male, black.
1 pound 7.5.
Okay, black male, 1 pound 7.5.
And a half.
And a female.
And then another female, and she's a black, right?
Mm-hmm.
1 pound 6.5.
1 pound. So they all weigh just about the same thing, you guys.
Okay.
Okay?
They pretty much came out that big.
I
Yeah.
was surprised.
And they're going to, well, see, the reason is because she had small litter.
Yeah.
So there was no competition for everything she could give
So they
them.
just grew.
Yeah, and they're always bigger when there's only a few of us.
And it happens just after 63 days.
Yeah,
like 63 and some
They
hours.
come in on time better than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it was really amazing.
My final question, his daughter wants her puppy to go live, at Mom's house at 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I've always heard 8 weeks is the best.
6 weeks is okay. The longer they stay with Mom, the less problems they have leaving the litter, okay? And so 8 weeks is better, but 6 weeks is, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not the wrong thing to do, okay? 8 weeks is just better. 10 weeks is even better, but, it's one of those things where, there's a lot of puppies that leave the litter at 6 weeks old. That's 2 weeks after they've been weaned, and they do just fine. Okay? So it's not, neither one of you are wrong. Okay?
I just wanted to make sure it didn't cry for 2 weeks straight.
No,
That'd
it
drive me
won't.
crazy.
It won't. They'll all cry, no matter where they stay, 10 weeks or 6 weeks, they'll all cry that first night, because they don't know what the problem is. They've been with their litter mates and their mother all this time, so they're going to cry that first night.
Okay.
But, and as I said, neither one of you are really wrong. 8 weeks is better, is less likely to have problems, but there's certainly plenty of puppies that leave at 6 weeks and don't have any problems.
Okay.
Okay?
Alrighty.
Alrighty, guys, you're all set.
Thank
Once
you.
again, we ought to see them when they're 2 weeks old and worm them.
Oh, okay, that's what I was going to ask about.
Yeah, and so in about another 10 days.
How is that done, with a shot?
No, we're just a little stuff in their mouth. Okay, just a little syringe of stuff in their mouth. Tastes good, but they'll have their eyes open by then, and that's the first time you want to worm them. And then we'll give you another dose if everybody's doing good and gaining weight. We don't want to worm them if somebody's not doing good. Okay, but if everybody's doing good and gaining weight and you haven't had any problems, then we'll give you another dose to give them at 4 weeks. Okay, and then they'll come in at 6 weeks for their first vaccine and get wormed one more time. You want to worm them every 2 weeks while they're in the litter, because worm eggs will be everywhere. Okay, so they'll just keep reinfecting themselves.
Really? Where'd all the worm eggs come from?
They're coming from Mom. Mom will shed. All puppies are born with roundworms, and some of them are born with hookworms, and they get them from their mom. And then every time they poop, there's microscopic eggs, okay? And just because mom's, cleaned them up doesn't mean that she's getting all those microscopic eggs. And so they get reinfected, and then pretty soon, as they get bigger and they're pooping more, et cetera, pretty soon that's just the environment's just contaminated with those eggs. It's no big deal. You just worm them every 2 weeks and then it's fine. And when it's all over with,
so like every wild dog has, they have worms?
well, they become more resistant to them when they get to be an adult, and some of them can beat them off themselves. Okay, but yes, they're all born with them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and probably all wild animals have some parasites. That's why that's what parasites do.
Right.
And if they didn't have a host, it wouldn't be there.
Right.
And as you know, a good parasite never kills its host. And
Right.
so, they're not going to kill them. But they'll probably all have at least tapeworms just because they eat wild things,
Yeah.
and a lot of them will have whipworms. In the wild and so forth, but they don't kill them. They just learn to live with them, and when the problem is when they're young and when they're old and they're not as healthy. They start to get debilitated when they get older. Then parasites can matter.
Right.
And certainly when they're babies because they don't have an immune system yet.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I don't think I got any other questions.
All right. Okay, you're all done, sweetheart. You can take your babies home. We'll leave you alone for a little while, okay? Okay.